I think the only time that they haven't stayed on is when we didn't turn them on right.
Yeah. These are my newer ones, and there's a lot of space. I had one camera that, when I bought it, or phone when I bought it, it cheaped out on the
Internal memory.
Yeah. Let's turn these guys down. Okay. Now we're all set, and all of a sudden my heater will kick on or something.
The tree trimming guys out
yeah.
come across the street and start in your front yard.
Yeah, no kidding. Welcome to my home, Andrew, or part of my home. Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Director of Government and Community Affairs for the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Executive Director Andrew Bauman. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier.
Hey, Rob.
Andrew Bauman.
How you doing?
Good.
Welcome to your home.
We're in I guess it's a little echo in here. We're in the little breakfast nook, I guess, of my home. Of course, you have to have a TV.
How's the lighting?
Oh, I
Do
don't
we
know.
need more?
I don't know. Nah, yeah. We'll fix it in post.
Okay. Extra work for you. Perfect.
So today is the Wednesday of Beer Week.
It is the only Wednesday of Beer Week, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
As everyone wants to point out. Beer Week's not just 1 week.
No. Hey, man, if everybody made Wednesdays and Tuesdays and Mondays happen, then maybe we would back off on that a little bit.
Well, we do have some events going on every day. I was going through the calendar yesterday. It's got a lot of events in there.
Yeah.
It'd be great if we had some variety in location, like Crescent Crown did a good job of putting a bunch of events in. Huss did, Santan. Lumberyard put a bunch of events in.
Yeah.
And then we have some other people that just put a couple in, but I'd like to see more in Tucson, more in on the West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, individually, Tap and Bottle has their own slate of events, and Flagstaff does a good job through Visit Flagstaff. But I mean, we really would like, and I'm sure they appreciate the eyeballs because that's why they do it. But we would appreciate some love back on that.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of should be a central repository for people looking for beer events,
well,
I think.
I mean, there was some hiccups, and we'll do better next time, or somebody will.
This year was good. Other than we could have had it up sooner.
That's yeah.
The people that needed it did get their stuff in, so that's good.
I'm always going to say we'll do better. We'll do better. Somebody will do better.
Great.
So tonight is we'll already know the winner because this will probably post at midnight.
Yeah, the winner
Thursday
will
morning.
already be announced,
Yeah.
but we don't know now.
Yeah, arm wrestling.
It's a big deal because Jack Phillips is going to be there. She is
Back.
Yeah, she's coming back after winning 3 times. She took a couple years off to open up the space.
Right.
And did Kayla win?
I don't know one.
Anyways, both of the former champions are going to be there.
Wow.
They're in separate brackets, so
Right.
never know. Could be a brand new champion too.
Right. Could
Very
be.
exciting.
Could be. There could be a I don't know. You can't have a 3-way tie in a arm wrestling contest, can you?
That would be crazy. Someone's going to have to win. It's a tournament.
Yeah.
That is at Boulders on Southern today, but this is old news for the people that are listening to this.
Yeah. I'm sure. Well, I'm sure they'll catch up. Someone go, I didn't know about that, and then there'll probably be a video online, right?
Thursday,
Yeah.
we are going to have the Brewers Roundtable at Santan Gardens.
That's right. Yeah.
It's going to be
Featuring you.
me, yes, and Ken Wilson, Jamie Dickman, Jamie from Santan. I'm forgetting his last name.
From Santan?
Yeah.
Jamie.
Yeah. I know.
You
it.
just did a mind erase on me.
Damn it. Jeff Huss is going to be there.
Yeah. So that's billed as the old school, right? Is that
Yeah.
Is that how it's
The OGs.
right? So I must be elderly.
Yeah. It's a shame. You're a senior dog now.
That's okay. That's okay. So that's tomorrow.
That is Thursday evening. Yeah.
That is something that people can go to. Friday, I usually go to Flagstaff Friday, Saturday, but this time around, I'm not going to be able to do that because I want to be there for Saturday for the 30th anniversary dinner at OSO for ASH, Arizona Society of Homebrewers. I didn't end up going to the meeting last night. I was like, thought it was unusual that they had a happy hour during Beer Week, B they hot scotchies on Monday.
Yeah.
C, I mean, they did their regular meeting. I mean, that's a lot. And then this 30th, but as Barry says, you only turn 30 once. So
let's see, Friday. Okay, let me back up. I have my DJI Osmo camera gimbal that I had many plans of things to do with at Arizona Strong.
Yeah.
Those plans did not quite work out as I hoped. I still did get some good footage, so that's good. I wanted a pole so I could use it like a boom.
Right.
A boom.
Right. You can simulate a drone action.
Yes.
With it.
If you knew how to use the gimbal right, which I didn't. So even this morning, I watched a few videos just to get better at it because we need to do better. Me being me.
Right.
As
so
an
like
organization,
next year, there'll be a montage of you using the pole, like Tai Chi.
It'll be amazing. So I knew that my painter's poles were at my friend's house. So I went over there. He also is involved in the graphic design community here. He was a teacher at ASU. He now works for a company and does graphic design. And there's just a meetup group, a networking group.
Go on.
It is mornings design time. Anyways, and when I'm there, he said, hey, our monthly meeting is going to be at Greenwood Brewing on Friday morning at 8 a.m. if you'd like to go. So I said, well, gosh, they're a member.
Yeah.
I can go out, lend a little support to their organization, to one of our members, maybe get to talk about the guild a little bit and what we do. So that's my Friday morning. Friday evening, Arizona Wilderness has an event called, I don't know, Rare Shit or something like that. It's a whole bunch of just weird beers. They've got Orval and they've got a bunch of stuff. So we're probably going to swing by there. But,
Friday.
Just the thing I noticed. And then Saturday, we do have the 30th anniversary of ASH, the dinner for that, and calendar check.
Sunday is
the day of rest.
Could be.
But I have Saturday.
Well, this year there shouldn't be any danger of anyone doing it on Monday. In the past, Monday has sometimes been President's Day, and literally the people who complain the most about having a long week would schedule things on that Monday. So I get it. I get it, man. You gotta. It was done in a friendly way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
While this whole thing is going on, we have some legislative stuff going on. In fact, part of the point of it is to have it at the same time. So I understand when you think that we got doing all this stuff and we're scheduling more and more. I understand that. Mm-hmm. But we do these celebratory weeks for a reason. One of the reasons is to introduce people to more beer, more different types of beer, more of our beer business, to inject some culture behind products. I mean, as I often say, there's no Great American Beer Festival, or there's no Great American Dry Cleaners Festival. So, it just so happens that we are a political organization as well in terms of getting policies, mostly just for equity's sake, just to even the playing field. I mean, we were introduced late to the alcohol world.
As a legislative organization, right?
Yeah. Also yes. But, the idea that a small company could make Mid-ABeer was a
Relatively new, sure.
foreign idea. Yeah. And, you know, some of these organizations have 100 or so years head start on us. And anyway, this year we are working on the hemp beverage bill. And we cleared our first committee, the Regulatory Affairs Committee in the Senate, and we're working on sewing up votes so that one goes to the Committee of the Whole for third read. It will pass. We have some outliers in a couple ways. There's a couple people who would have preferred that we did not trade the RTD tax for the tax on these beverages. So if you offset any tax increase, which adding a new product would be a tax increase, then you have to offset it with some tax relief. If you want to raise taxes, essentially you need 3/4 of the legislature to vote.
I
So it's
see.
a higher bar. So if you change the math in any way significantly, especially raising taxes in a Republican-led state, you need to do that. And I think there's a lot of Democrats that want to use the revenue for other things, presumably to address anything that they feel that alcohol in general, you know, is
Intoxicating beverages that
right. So
cause societal harm.
yeah, I believe it's a minority opinion. We like to sew that up. It's possible that cannabis beverages the sales will exceed those of RTDs. Not likely, but in the near term. But you don't know if it's going to be a net neutral or net negative or positive. But that
Like
was
when seltzers burst on the scene.
right. So that's an issue. I'm understanding that we've properly identified that on-site consumption, that the most popular products are 5 milligrams. So there is some pressure to get rid of or lower it to that. I'm not a fan of that.
It's currently 10.
It's currently 10.
Uh-huh.
And it would be 10 for off-site consumption. I would make the argument that the 10 is not generally consumed in the public eye, but the effects spill out into the public.
Sure.
As opposed to in a bar setting, there presumably is somebody overseeing the entire affair. So there's that, and then if everything goes well, we go to the House and do it all over again. So I think part of this is we're sending signals to the leaders in the party and in effect the governor that things are moving and there's conversation and we're not just trying to induce our will. I will say, and I don't feel like I want to name them right now, but there are 3 beverage companies, multinational giant beverage companies that oppose this bill, and one of the lobbyists literally compared hemp beverages to cocaine. And I'm,
Rhetoric sells, baby.
So I understand that they're continuing to use that messaging, and if I understand that is going to continue, then I will name those companies. And if anyone's interested, you can look up the bill and you can look at their testimony. You can literally, the site is
it azhouse.gov? AZLeg.
azleg.gov.
Yeah.
You can find the committee. You can go to the day, which was last week, Tuesday, and you can find the video, and you can literally download the transcript and find the exact second. I mean, you can look up cocaine and you can find out.
You could do a Control F, cocaine.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's all fine and good to debate some of these things, but the upshot is none of these parties that are so aggrieved by having this product introduced have not produced any bills to regulate it at all, and that's the danger if it doesn't pass.
Yeah, if this bill doesn't pass, now we have another year until we can introduce something else, and another year of complete
Right.
chaos, honestly.
So after these became available at Whole Foods, a
Total
lot of
Wine.
Total Wine. Did I say Whole Foods? Yeah,
It's okay.
Total Wine. Total Foods Wine. After Total Wine, these are the instances. These are starting to leak out into areas that I go to.
I have spoken with several people again this week, and especially at Arizona Strong, people coming up to me asking, "Hey," blah, blah, blah. And no.
And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but by chance that someone's actually listening and didn't hear what I had to say, the danger, in my opinion, is not that that you're not going to get the literal cops coming to your place and smashing all the products on the ground like the prohibition and leading you out in cuffs. That's not the danger. The danger is that you have a product that isn't covered by your insurance. So any sort of product liability issue is going to be out of pocket automatically. There's going to be ambulance chasers, the same types of folks that do slip and falls, the same types of attorneys and that go around measuring the height of the handicap signs, and if they're a little bit off, they do a C&D, and they not a C&D, they offer a settlement. The same people who are cruising around websites looking for alt text on the photos, but as a business, not as a aggrieved person. They are solution looking for problems, right? And so they'll go and say, hey, go in there, have a drink, and just order a THC beverage, and go, hey, I've been coming here for years. I've been coming to this brewery. I've been coming to this beer and wine bar, and I went to get my CDL, my commercial driver's license, and I failed a drug test. Or I'm an airman and I failed a drug test. And they're going to say, I didn't understand that this was even legal. It apparently isn't. And they're going to hand you a piece of paper with a number on it. And you will also probably have to sign an NDA, so you can't even tell any of your
Peers.
colleagues that you're under the settlement. And and that's how they're going to get you. It's plausible. It's a plausible story by any customer.
And the problem is, you are not insured.
Right. So So they, you could take it to trial.
Your insurance company is going to say,
Right.
There was an attorney general warning that this is not legal. You didn't follow it, and now we're not paying anything.
So I think that slightly differs from anyone who's selling it, especially on the on-premise, but not significantly. I think there's a different expectation when you buy it off the shelf as opposed to just getting it. Like the expectation is you're going to pay more attention to the labeling in an off-premise environment. Presumably, it's going to sit in your refrigerator a while, right? So I don't know. Not a lawyer, but I'm worried about that particular instance.
Yeah.
The earliest that this would be legal, in my opinion, is July, or first week of July, if we end the session on time.
If the session ends on time, yeah.
Latest is late October.
And we've seen that in the last couple of years. So.
We have. Moving on, yesterday we received a due pass recommendation in the Commerce Committee with a unanimous vote, although a couple people stepped out, so there were some absences on the vote. But we introduced our legislation to lower the required minimum amount for a brewery to make, and it went pretty well. There wasn't any opposition. Some of our liquor friends stuck around to show support, so that was good. And it's ironic that 10 years ago we fought for the definition of what the largest of our breweries could be and what rights they would maintain, and now we're arguing for the lowest.
Yeah.
10 years later, and apparently that's a little less controversial. But
currently, the law is, and I never really did this math, but when Ken shared it with me yesterday, it blew my mind. Essentially, you have to sell a half barrel of beer every single day of the year.
Yeah.
So that is a pretty big burden for many small and rural breweries.
Right. Especially if they're only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Right. Because you still have to sell that beer.
Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right. And it's the case that some of the places that you might want to enjoy a very niche beer in a small town and with a tiny restaurant is like they just can't move that much product through it. And it used to be 10,000 gallons. So that's, that's double what it is now, which is, that's like 650 half barrels a year.
Yeah.
Or barrels a year. Yeah. So
Half barrels.
half barrels. That's a lot. And, in the late 90s, there were a lot of restaurateurs interested in brewing, got licenses. Among them,
Arribas.
Christopher Gross. His place was tiny. I can't even imagine, I think people just signed on and said, we'll fix it later. But it wasn't fixed until the 90s, the early 2000s. Oh, the official dog of
Hello,
me and Brenda is here, Hazel.
You're going to have to do a picture
I know.
because Lord knows she won't let us
Yeah.
put her on screen today.
She will not let me pick her
No,
up.
there's no picking up. Even if we got up to move the camera, she would run away.
Yeah. She senses, I think, the infrared autofocus.
Oh,
I think that's how it works. I think they see the autofocus
Interesting.
somehow or detect it. So yeah, it's you did the homework and talked to Bart and Matt Gasiak, and according to the 2023 some findings, it takes the average U.S. brewery 7 years to year over year make over our current amount at 5,000 gallons. So, and I think it's just so happens that when the new model, the new taproom model, the smaller brewery model happened, it was at the height of the popularity of our category. So we had very few people not get the minimum, or if they did, it was 1 year in their growth cycle, or it was every 2 or 3 years they might run into a problem, especially if they decide to barrel age a lot of their beer. That doesn't count towards it.
until it's ready.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's timely, and again, for anyone who says, "Well, we used to do it that," you got some relief too, and it's unusual to have a minimum. We compromised. There were some people who, on the restaurant side, is like, "Why is there a minimum at all?" And it's a hard argument to make, but I think culturally, our amateur homebrewers versus people who make wine and you can't make distilled spirits legally
At home, right?
at home. Although that's up for I don't know where that case is. Do you? It's being challenged. In any case, culturally, there's a lot more people who do the crossover from home brewing to brewing, and I think there needs to be a bright line. Is that bright line 5 times the amount you can make as a home brewer? I don't know.
But that's what we set it at.
Yeah, that's what we said.
And we do know of 2 new breweries that are in process of getting open in very small areas.
Yes.
So Safford
Yeah.
has a new brewery opening, and there's a new one in, what is the name of that town?
Concho.
Concho.
So you texted me that, and I remembered, and I brought it up in the committee. I used that. I said, yeah, we have a new licensing request that's been approved by the town, so we would expect a license from the state, from Concho, Arizona. And I looked up the population as of 2022, there was 0 people. But it is in an area around St. John's and in the White Mountains, so it was just kind of funny.
Population 0.
Population 0. So, and now they have to move, 222 cases of beer. That's not bad in a year. So, anyway, that's that.
There's a lot of driving to distribute that from Concho.
Well, I know that's the other consideration.
Because their main market would be Pine Top, Sholo, Heber, where they just had new breweries open this year.
Right. I mean, I don't know. There's probably a new housing development out there that's just going to.
There is, yeah.
Add 500.
Called Whispering Lakes or something like that.
You know where they actually have lakes?
It's whispering something. Where? Minnesota?
No, I mean, that part of Arizona actually has lakes.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to every apartment building I ever lived in had a wilderness type name.
Yeah.
Like something brook, there's There's no moving water here that's not in a pipe.
There's one near my house that just opened that is styled after a ski lodge, and it's called Vale Apartments. I'm like, this is the middle of Chandler, Arizona. Like, you're not tricking anyone. Okay, great.
What you got?
Gosh, we have Arizona Strong recap that we could zip through real quick.
Okay, I'm down. I just, from my outside perspective, because I literally, I sat in a few meetings, but my job function doesn't really change what happens, and I said what I had to say about the event itself, and I thought it was a wonderful day. I understand there were some hiccups that you identified that maybe the average customer hopefully didn't know or was affected by. People got in, people left early. There were some stragglers, to be expected. I always order this really nice weather. I'm glad you got it.
Setting up on Friday, we didn't know it was going to happen. It could have been like torrential downpours is kind of what was being described for the first few days of the week. And then by the time it got to Wednesday and Thursday, they said, rain chance is going down. And we ended up with rain for probably 3 minutes each hour for 6 hours. Yeah. It rained for 3 minutes, then it wouldn't rain for an hour.
During setup.
During setup on Friday.
Yeah.
And then Saturday was just a perfect day.
Yeah. My rule of thumb is if 10 days out it says it's going to rain, it won't.
Yeah. No.
And then, but the day before was consistently, it's just going to rain on Friday. I swear to God, it's just going to rain on Friday. And so I wasn't too worried, other than the fact that Thursday, when people make ticketing decisions and they see it's going to rain on Friday, the expectation is like, oh, it's going to rain all weekend.
Right. That kind of weather forecast hurts ticket sales 100% for sure.
Yeah. Because that is one of the things that we are the most superstitious about as human beings is the weather.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, to the point where people blame it on contrails.
And we don't even have like a whole lot of belief in weather forecasting only because we get burned constantly. Yeah. They tell us it's going to rain. It doesn't.
Right.
They tell us it's going to rain. It doesn't. And then occasionally that rain, instead of just being Friday, we kicked it over to Saturday. Definitely happens on the regs around here.
Arizona, this part of Arizona, let's just say that. I don't like to paint with a big brush when it comes to Arizona. I should do better. This part of Arizona, you literally could, you could literally pre-record a broadcast of every day of the weather and not be too wrong.
Yeah.
Although, no, I take that back. Recently, it's been obscenely hot, and it hasn't been that expectation. But yeah, in terms of sunny, not sunny, will rain, won't rain, pretty easy. The Weather Service has definitions for the word fair comes up a lot. Weather is fair. Suitable for outdoor activities.
Right.
We will get fair on 115 day because those were characterizations that did not include
extreme heat.
Yeah. So if it says fair, if you look it up, suitable for outdoor activities, I mean, you're not going to get rain, hit by a lightning
hail,
or snowed in,
right.
So that's kind of funny.
We, one of our new activations was the brewery swag drawing.
Right. I'm going to get a cup of coffee. You just keep talking. I can
Okay.
do that in my own home. That's great.
Okay. Our brewery swag drawing. We had volunteers working it. We had about 25 breweries that donated some really super cool stuff. And that went phenomenally. At 4:00, we did the drawing. There were 50 plus people gathered around as we called out names, and there was cheering and that person won.
Right.
That person won 3 times. What the hell's going on? She bought a lot of tickets, guys.
Right.
Yeah. So
and you can target the thing you want by putting
in that specific one.
So
right?
you can double your odds, triple your odds if you really like something. I love that because I do strategy on that, and a lot of times there's something I don't want at all.
Sure.
Not because it isn't nice, but I I don't need certain, I have enough of that brewery stuff, or I have enough glasses.
For me, it's the gift certificate ones that are difficult. For many people, those are the ones that are like the best. They're like,
Right.
great, go
Right.
in, have some beers, have some food. It's all paid for. Awesome. For me, I'm like, this is one of my members, and now I'm not getting my wallet out, and I feel guilty. So I would avoid those
Right.
personally.
Yeah.
But those people that were there, whether they won or not,
Right.
everyone was cheering and happy, and then they turned and left. And they left with that feeling of
Right.
enjoyment and excitement when they left. So that was huge for me to see.
Yeah. I also, you can get a cup of coffee.
Oh, no.
Would you like me to get it for you?
No.
Oh, all right. Starting in. You want to describe that?
This is Tail Dragger Craft Beer, which I think is a sub-brand for Saddle Mountain, or is
Yeah.
that just what they brand all their beer to go as, or do they just do their, is it their barrel-aged stuff they call Tail Dragger?
No,
I don't know.
I think they use that as a general second branding.
I think it started out as like a brand, like Tail Dragger Pale Ale or something.
Right.
Gosh, I should have someone that knows what they're talking about actually tell us. Anyways, this is from Saddle Mountain Brewing Company. It's called Well, I'll Be Damned, which I think is an amazing name for a bourbon barrel-aged Russian Imperial Stout. It was aged in wine barrels that were used to age bourbon for 1 year.
If I would have known I would have ordered some blue cheese.
Oh.
But I didn't, and we don't have any now.
If I was smarter, I would have brought some blue cheese.
There you go. Oh, thank you.
Certainly.
We're using some counter samples and some cabinet samples for coasters. It's okay. I think it's to separate the brew pub idea from an actual physical product.
Sure.
And it seems that way, and to separate the aviation theme from. I mean, it is Saddle Mountain. I mean, mountains and aviation don't go well together.
So we had this very cute Arizona.
I know it's not in vogue to make airline jokes now, but
not right now.
so all right. Let me get my nose in this and
We had these very cute glasses.
Nice.
For Arizona Strong this year. It's very fuzzy there. See if it works here. Oh yeah, that's better.
you're off mic, so it's gonna just sound like a bunch of. That's the glassware, and that is what are you showing? I can't see their logo.
Label.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was talking about this beer now.
Yeah.
It's kind of boozy in the nose,
Uh-huh.
sweet.
It could stand to rest a little bit, but chocolate, coffee.
Yeah. I'm trying to understand if I understand how strong this is, and we're not getting any indication.
Oh, shucks. That'll change soon.
Yeah, I mean, where do you envision? Andrew's referring to the labeling requirements, which will have to have a nutritional panel.
And list the ABV, which, there it is, 8.9.
8.9. Okay.
And
It's in the avionic controls. It's very clever.
yes.
24 IBUs. Looks like you're heading due north. And yeah, the horizon is level. and all
Great.
those other things.
Good sign.
And it's 22 ounces.
I mean, the horizon's level now, but you never know if you drink that whole thing. Made a funny joke.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge.
I went down to Tucson yesterday.
Yeah.
I had to.
Are we done recapping the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody had a good time.
It was great.
We don't know the numbers.
Right.
I thought it. The design was thoughtful. There was a couple areas where I would have, rotated the booths a little bit, but not a big deal.
Nah.
Yeah.
It all worked out. It was very nice. Everyone's given compliments. One suggestion that I got was that we not have Arizona Strong the Saturday after Super Bowl next year because it is Valentine's Day. Specifically, gosh, they're going to be so busy with Waste Management Open, and then they've been away from their family all week for that, and now you're going to take them away for Valentine's Day, and that sounds like a real jerk move.
Huh.
I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah.
But certainly something to think about.
Yeah. Well, we did have a wedding last time, and
That was 2015. I looked up the most recent time that there was a February 14th on a Saturday.
yeah. So we talked about it last show. The Hasties, I ran into them at Main Ingredient. So 10 years strong. Yeah, I don't know. Like we had that for the Friday ticket pickup. We had more people there.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day Friday for pick up tickets and watch a ball game of literally no consequence. It's not like
483 tickets
yeah.
scanned that night.
Yeah.
That's bonkers. On a day that was cloudy and rained in many parts of the valley.
Right.
Was windy as all get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it was super busy. We ran out of beer at 6:45. Perfect.
Right. So the people, this is probably coming from distributors, I'm imagining, because
It was from a beer importer.
Yeah.
So
and there are a few breweries that now have activations there, but I can't imagine that the principals of that company are there manning the booth. They might be there enjoying it, but I think for that scenario, I think you hire people and it's part of your. Or they might even require it after the debacle last year. They might even require their trained servers. I don't know. So I think we're hearing from a minority, and let's be honest, like we haven't gotten the distributor support like we have in years anyway. So
this year we did, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we did? Okay, good.
Oh, Crescent did an amazing activation. Their suppliers stepped up by donating some cash to make sure that their area was popping, and it was great.
Yeah. Okay. I retract my statement.
All right, fair enough.
Partially retract my statement. All right. Sorry.
Okay, then. Well, I guess we're not done with Arizona Strong.
No, I'm done now.
Okay, cool.
You went to Tucson.
So I went to Tucson because we have Baja Beer Fest coming up, and I had to physically submit the application papers to the city clerk.
Wow.
Yes.
Did you find it? Okay.
Oh, well, I went to the wrong city clerk.
Right.
And then I went to the right one because I was like, hey, I want to do this.
We have alternate city clerks these days.
They have the city clerk area that is focused on elections, and then they have the city clerk in the city hall that's focused on business.
Right.
So I just put in Tucson city clerk. It led me to the wrong one, and it's cool. It's fine. They were very apologetic. I said, it's okay. She said, do you know the address for the main office? I said, I have Google.
Is it on Alameda?
I remember the name Pennington, but it could be on Alameda. I don't know. I kind of had to drive around. My car was too tall to get into the parking garage. I had to find alternate parking arrangements. I had to make the people behind me back up. It was really a joy. But
Andrew has
6
on the
foot
top
2 inches is the height.
On the top of his Subaru, he has the
Top box.
yeah a luggage, I don't know, thing.
Top box.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
And if you
box.
may recall that I borrowed his car and hit several of those concrete things in Las Vegas.
I mean,
Rubbed. Shoot.
it is quite a sound.
It's very
You
unnerving.
had 5 people in the car when you got there, so it wasn't a big deal. I had
No,
one.
I had nobody.
Oh, okay.
And then I decided to park in the VIP golden area because I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Can't drive any
and
farther.
I solicited some of my colleagues to go out to lunch, and I said, I need about 4 or 5 of you so I could get this car out of here. And yeah, that was fun.
It's fine. And then So I went there. I went to visit with Jeremy at Moto Sonora. That was very cool. And I found out that many places in Tucson don't open till 3 or 4.
Yeah. It was Tuesday too. It's not like
Certainly.
but I suppose that's the case on Thursday and Friday, right? Or
Sure.
not? I don't know.
I went to Tap and Bottle.
Yeah.
Had a nice talk with some people there, and then hit Button Brewing, and that was that.
They've moved that city clerk office a couple times.
They did she told me the whole history. They did a renovation.
Right.
So then everyone moved over to the election building for a year while they were renovating the 9th floor.
Right. 9th floor.
It's the top floor of the city hall. It's a big deal.
Wow.
Yeah. They got the primo space.
So everything's good on the paperwork side.
Fire department permit has been issued. The park is reserved. I did that in June, I think. And
April 5th?
April 5th.
Look at that. Right off the top of my head.
No, I have to get an Airbnb now.
Yeah.
For Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah. Another billionaire company, Airbnb. It just so happens to have some sort of government post now. I don't know.
Cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, everyone gets one.
Yeah.
As long as you
I'm
have
glad
a
all of
billion.
my billionaires are represented.
Billionaires are represented. If you're a millionaire, you're a scrub. You don't get in. Hell no. Yeah. You ain't got a B? Get out.
Yeah. I was sitting with Dr. Gary Elam from the Distillers, and he was trying to get cans, and he said, "Yeah, it's the source he had is like it's already 35% more than it was 35."
Yeah.
So
Preemptive price increases.
right,
Because why not?
Jeff Allworth from Beervana wrote something, and it was just basically some interview questions with a brewer that used to be or was a economist professor, and was explaining that yes, even though in some circumstances the per unit cost might be 5, 4, 5, 6 cents, that's not how beer pricing works. None of that goes up that incrementally. And
Right.
you as a brewer don't set the price in the grocery store. You set a hopeful price that they will buy it at, and you can't really understand how they're going to price it specifically. Nor should you, because it'd be a monopoly.
You set your price that you sell to your distributor at. Your distributor sets the price that they want to sell to a grocery store at.
Right.
Generally, in contract, there is a range between 25 to 35% that it increases from in that step. And then whatever the grocery store wants to sell it at, they can. They can even sell it for less than you sold it to your distributor for, if they want to.
Right. But these increments don't go up in pennies or cents.
And they don't go
nickels.
up in the middle of the year. They go up annually.
Yeah. So they set them higher than they need to be because they don't want to be holding the bag. So you're going to see 25 to 50 cent increases over the course of a 6-pack, not 16 cents or 25 cents. Or cents. It's going to be a lot more. And if whatever that threshold is, if you're 1 cent over whatever they feel good pricing is, it'll bump you to the next category. So you could be literally 1 cent off, and instead of the 25-cent increase, you're in the 50-cent increase. And you don't make that extra money.
Right.
Grocery store does.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Yeah. All the behind the scenes stuff. That's why they're listening. That's why they're listening and watching on YouTube.
We were talking before the show. I'd have to look. I don't know that we talked on the show, but for sure you and I talked, and I did post some things on social media, and I got some blowback from some people that installed them. The Walgreens, you would go in, and all of their cooler doors would have full-size video screens with what's in there, but also ads. And I was like, I really hate this. This is the dumbest idea ever. And they're like, why? It tells you what's in there. I'm like, not really.
It takes power.
Right.
and it is a distraction, and it's just a method of just serving more ads. That's what it's there for.
Right. But my point was I can visually, if I go there a lot, I can visually see if there's product that I want quickly. You know, if I don't want to see, I doubt if literally the last product gets pulled off the shelf and they pull it off the screen.
No.
There's no, if you're modestly interested, now you have to actually open the refrigerator door. So I'm not even talking about the energy cost and all. I'm talking about as a consumer.
It's another layer of crap between you and what you want to get.
Right. It's like those ads, they're just visually not discriminating enough because the context is I need to look and see the shelf.
If only
I know what the shape of my product looks like that I want, or I see, I don't really want a Gatorade, but I see Gatorade bottles and, hits my dinosaur brain. I'm like, I got to get one now, right? The ads aren't the same. It's just the context is different. So from somebody who is casually buying products at Walgreens as I'm going to the pharmacy or whatever, it's terrible. And it literally caused me to open every refrigerator door
to try indiscriminately
because I'm not going to sit there for an ad
and then
motion.
Wait. Yeah.
If it was a literal picture of what's in there, then okay.
Which also makes no sense.
No, but I hated it. So let's talk about the fact that, I can't, you buy TVs these days, you're not just slamming it closed. And so the wear and tear on those things got to be incredible. When the screen goes down, it doesn't automatically turn to transparent glass. It's
just a big black box where you have to open.
Right. And somewhere there, it probably relies on the internet to update things and
hack that business, man. Oh, yeah.
So Walgreens made the decision to go with this company to do this across the country or something. It's been everywhere in Phoenix for years. And this was 2022, about this time of year.
Fast forward to this week.
Well, yeah. I heard rumblings. I have some people that I know in Walgreens and who are just beside themselves. It's this project's like a complete failure. To the tune of $200 million, and they're going to be completely useless. The company that installed them is going bankrupt, and they're not going to provide data air support. So those screens are going to go blank at some point. I don't know. If you do know a hacker, I would say maybe you can get some giant ass weird TV screens for your man space or your garage or something.
You can line all your garage with those screens and have
yeah.
Whoa.
You might not. What you're hearing right now is the compressor on a very old school 4-door cooler that I used to use for that I got from a grocery store. So. But that's why it's so loud because they don't care.
No.
So we left the door open. So
I need to get rid of some refrigeration in my house. I have too much.
Yeah.
Way too much. I already got rid of a couple, but I have one more that needs to go.
I used to say if you have more refrigerators than TVs, then you're a home brewer. But
that's a good point. I lived that for a long time, although I do like my home brewing. Ash has a brew out coming up on March 15th.
Right.
That I signed up for. I'm very excited. They're going to have a whole bunch of brewers go out, hang out. They're going to be serving some grilled up food and making beer and sharing beer. So I'm super excited to be able to go to that.
Right on.
Yeah. March 15th. Put on your calendar, folks.
They used to do it on the Sunday, but I understand. Do it further on out.
Well, they have the big anniversary on Saturday, so right. I think
that's true. Yeah,
kind of messed with the Sunday brew out.
I wonder what their feelings are on Valentine's Day.
Let's ask. Gosh, I guess that's about it.
That's about it, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Got to get this thing cut and posted. I got things to do today.
Yeah, I have some jockey boxes to pick up. I have stuff to deliver to Pink Boots Arm Wrestling so we can help make their event shabam. Oh, I was on TV 8 times last week.
Good for you, man.
Thanks.
It's been kind of a drought.
Yeah, pretty nice. The Tuesday morning was Pink Boots Brew Out at 100 Mile Brewing. And Ginger Jeffries, our favorite meteorologist, science-based lady, came out to interview us, and she sent me that link to the video yesterday. So
Nice.
yeah.
She was there all day.
Was she?
Seemed like it.
Well, she got there at about 9:15, 9:30,
Yeah.
and then hung out. Yeah, she's a big fan.
Good to hear.
Cool.
So 9
Oh,
times?
she also came out to Arizona Strong
Oh, really?
to get all her
B-roll?
taps pouring and cans opening.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
Right.
it's what you do. Plus, she and her husband are huge craft beer fans. So,
Good to know. So, a couple hits on Channel 12. What else?
yeah, also Channel 12 midday. We had Fox 10. They did 2 on Saturday morning, one at 9 and one at 9:55. We had a remote with Channel
3-5.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Channel 3-5 on Saturday morning at 9:15. And then there were other ones too.
No, that's good. We haven't had that kind of coverage in a while. So,
It was great.
hopefully, we'll have some good news with our bills and we can follow up on that. But it's good to get us front and center again and not always be about aluminum tariffs. Although,
There's a lot in the news about it right now. Like my Google alerts every day is another article about aluminum tariffs and how craft beer is dying already. So why would they pile on craft beer that's already dead?
I guess my point is more than just craft beer goes in the cans.
True.
And I don't know. For no reason, we're paying extra. That makes no sense. So I don't think.
Didn't you know there's going to be a little bit of pain, but it's worth it? Didn't you know that? Get your action together there, Rob.
All right.
All right. Let's call it a day.
We will.
It's not a beer podcast. It's a podcast about beer.
It is.
Sometimes the Imperial Stout finds you.